Okay, so hopefully you're getting the idea now. We're moving through that list, we're learning shapes associated to that name. And the next one's going to be Mixolydian, and here's that shape. So we're going to be moving on to Aeolian, which is one of my personal favourites, as you'll probably kind of find out as this course moves on. So we're going to be looking at that shape associated with the name Aeolian. Here it is. And last but not least, we've got Locrian. So we're going to take the name Locrian and we're going to learn the shape that is associated with that name. So here it is. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to just take the name of the mode in the list that we looked at, and I want you to play the shape and just literally play it up and down over and over and over and over and over again until you're absolutely sick of it, because it's going to be the only way that you're going to get it into your head. It's no good just playing it for like 5 minutes up and down and go, yeah, I know that one, and then move on to the next one, because to be honest with you, it takes a long time for anything to kind of like sink into anyone's brain. But if you do it systematically and properly, it'll be no time before anyone says, I don't know, play an Ionian shape, and you'll be able to play it anywhere on the neck. You'll just know what that shape looks like and you'll be able to play it. I mean, again, you know, we're not going into the sound at the moment. We're just literally learning those two things. We're pairing the name with the shape. So that's what I want you to do. Someone says play a Dorian shape, you know how to play that shape. If someone says play a Lydian shape, again, you know, you can just bust it out and it's fine. The reason why you need to know these shapes so well is because when you start to move between different shapes, because let's face it, in the real world, you're not going to be playing up and down these scale shapes, or at least I hope you're not. You're going to be interlocking, you're going to be playing up and down the guitar, you're going to be able to visualize these shapes before you even play them, because that's the only way that you're going to build any flow on the instrument, is if you can see where you're going before you actually play it. And that's something that I try and instill in all of my sort of students, or anybody that messaged me about, you know, how do you kind of like sort of, you know, play so fluid and kind of like move between different positions. It's solely to do with the fact that I can see where it is I want to go before I'm actually doing it. Because if you don't really have an idea of where you want to go, it's never going to have that kind of flow and that kind of musicality. That obviously, learning all of this is all technique based, but at the end of the day, it's only to build up your arsenal of ideas and musicality, so you can actually create music and express yourself in a musical way, you know, rather than just sort of you know, becoming like a circus act or some Olympic event where all you're really concerned about is just playing up and down scales as fast as you want. I remember Joe Satriani in an interview saying that no one would come and pay to watch someone just play up and down scales, or essentially stand on stage and practice in front of 2,000 people. People want to come and see you. They want to see your expression, your kind of, you know, melodic content in your songs, basically. So always kind of keep that in mind when you're learning this stuff, even though technically we're just going through the shapes at the moment. This does have a means to an end, because it will create more kind of musical freedom for you, if you like. So, as a recap, we're going to go through each of the shapes and just say it and then play the shape. So, Ionian shape. Dorian shape. Phrygian shape. Lydian shape. Mixolydian shape. Aeolian shape. And Locrian shape. Okay, so that's what I want you to practice. At the moment, we're just doing it from the G, but you can practice all of these positions in order from different positions if you want. So, I mean, the next thing you might want to do is, now you're comfortable with playing it in, from the position of, G major all the way up. You might want to do it from, say, I don't know, C major or something like that. So if you play the first position here, so that would be a first position, or well, an Ionian shape. Then you would then know to move up and play a Dorian shape next to it. Then followed by a Phrygian shape. Then Lydian. Then instead of, you could play it up here or down there, you could then play a Mixolydian shape. See, so you understand the shape well enough that you don't have to be in the set position where you learnt them initially, because I know that's always the temptation, is to sort of like play everything where you actually learnt it. But what I'm trying to get you to do is learn the shape, not where it is on the neck. So you can sort of like play any of these shapes and then know that all the other ones kind of fit either up the neck or behind the shape that you're playing. So everything kind of interlocks. And also the most important thing to remember with this as well is, although the Ionian, all of the mode names are in order as well, all of your scale shapes are always in order. So when you play a first position, it's always going to be a first position shape. And then you play second position, it's always going to be a second position shape, third position shape, fourth position, and so on. So it doesn't matter where you are on the neck, all of these shapes kind of revolve like this up the neck. So every time you move something, everything just kind of like shifts. So that's a really important thing to remember as well, so you don't ever really get lost on the guitar. You can always have some point of origin where you can revert back to and know where you are. I mean, for me personally, it's always a first position pentatonic shape. As soon as I find that, or whatever key I'm in or anything like that, all of these 3-note per string scales, all of my pentatonic scales, all of my arpeggios, everything just kind of open up on the neck, and I can see exactly where I'm going and what I'm doing. So it doesn't really matter what key you're playing in, you can still bust out all the same licks that you've done before. Then after that, the practice is getting used to how to play those same licks but in different positions on the neck, because obviously if you're down here, it's going to feel a lot different doing some of your techniques than it is up here. So that's where some of your practice might end up going towards. So it's not necessarily fretboard knowledge, it's more application of how to apply these different licks, well, the same lick in different places on the neck.